who was brilliant at it. Absolutely brilliant at it. So brilliant that she's running my play now. It's okay. That when we went to LA, I went with Damien and Bianca, because the Taylor girls' dad had hooked us up with some tickets to the BET experience. He was selling them to us for like half price or whatever. Now that I know it wasn't half price, but whatever. We bought the tickets and we were going to go to the celebrity basketball game there. Why was we in LA? Oh, because we was meeting with Studio 71. We was going to Studio 71, and then it was like a perfect time to go, to the BET experience. So, wait, what was I talking about? Oh, what's the name? So when we get there, not Deja. What is his name? I cannot think of the couple, but I don't think they together neither. But they was, together, and they lived in LA, and so he was pretty much giving us like a tour, of the city and stuff or whatever. And we get to I'm getting to the point. We get to the BET Awards, or the S's. I don't know. It was one of these festivals. I mean, the award show. It was the BET Awards. So we get to the BET Awards and we walk in, and they got like a auditorium full of like vendors and concert, like little mini concerts and stuff. So while we were walking through there, Jazz, aka Perfect Labs, comes and she follows us or whatever, and she gets a picture with Damon and Bianca or whatever. And that was happening. That happened all the time when we went somewhere. So I wasn't, it wasn't no big deal. But Jazz was bold. First thing she said to me, she said, "I want to get in that house. What I got to do to get in the house?" And I thought it was dope that she was just that direct and straightforward like that. So I was like, oh, well, just call me da-da-da or something like that. And I don't think Damien mind, because he didn't know her at this time. So what I'm saying is how he felt prior to meeting her. I don't know how he feels now. But he was like, why is she following us? Because she kept following us like everywhere we went. And then he was like, tell her we about to go get something to eat. And I was like, oh, we about to go get something to eat. And she was like, me too. So, and he was like, and I said, what you want me to do? So I told her, I said, well, I'll go eat with y'all. And then Damien, I told them I'd catch them back at the hotel. And so I think we went to Buffalo Wild Wings, and I was talking to her or whatever. And she was like, she wanted to be part of the house. When was I doing the next one? And I was like, we're supposed to do the next one in Houston. And I was like, come to my hotel and we can talk. So she came to the hotel, staying at the W, I think that's where we was, in Hollywood, whatever. So she came to the hotel, she came downstairs. Well, I came downstairs, and while I was talking to her or whatever, she was like, I told her, because I had looked over her channel, and I was like, I don't know where Jazz was at. I think she was at like maybe 200, something like that, 1,000. And I told Jazz, I said, I can get you to 1 million, in 30 days. And she called her mom. I talked to her mom. I think it's her stepmom. I talked to her stepmom because she lived in Arkansas, Little Rock or something like that. So I talked to her mom. And her mom was like, excited and stuff or whatever. And Jazz was like, she told her what I said, that I can get her to 1 million in 30 days. And then I told her it would be $600 because I only charge $600 to get in a house. And the $600 would cover your room and food for the week that we were at the house. And so $600 to get in a house if you shared a room, or $1,000 if you wanted your own room. And so she did the $600. And so she was in a room with Jazz. It was Jazz, Deja, and Ty, I think. And I think Queen was in that room too. And so that's how the thing happened with me and Jazz. So now fast forward. We in the Houston house, things go good. Her work ethic is impeccable. Like, she's the only person I would put in the level with Damien and Bianca as far as work ethic. Impeccable. When everybody else was BSing and playing around, the girl was working. And so she was working and staying out the way. So I thought. When we moved, when everybody started coming to Houston or whatever, because Chris and Queen's house was like forever open. Chris was forever letting everybody come, and stay at the house or whatever. So the Taylor girls would stay at the house, and Perfect Labs came down. And when she came down, she was like doing videos with Kelly Sweet and the other girl. I can't think of her name, but she was doing videos with them or whatever. And at that time, Jazz had never had a girl on her platform. And so we was just saying, I think Damo and Chrissy was done at this point. And we were just saying how big it would be, you know, if she did. And somehow or another, from what I remember, her and Ty was just playing with the internet with the pictures and stuff, acting like, you know, they liked each other and they was going viral and all that stuff. And everything was good. Long story short, I ain't never told this story. Long story short, this is helping me so much, so I ain't got to do no freaking video. But long story short, Deja, like I said, was my heart. She came to my hotel room to pick me up, I think. And when she came to my hotel room, I was showing her my wigs and stuff or whatever, because she was always talking about my wigs. But she was helping me put my stuff together. And then we got in the car. And while we were in the car, we were talking, because from my hotel to Chris and Queen house, we gonna say it was 30 minutes. It was me and her and Jazz in the back. So while we were going, you know, Deja just talking, right? You know, she just venting, because again, I said we were close. And her sister was getting on her nerves, like sisters do. She was mad at Ty because she was saying Ty was doing too much, you know, on social media. And she was just like, she doing too much. She gonna make us look bad or whatever. Again, these girls were young. Ty was what, 19? Ty was the it chick during that time. And she was just wilding. She was just being young. But her sister was just venting to somebody that she trusted, me. I'm trying to give Deja the eye, like, shut up, because Jazz is in the back. And so she just, you know, she just ran and she's just talking and stuff. And while she's talking to me or whatever, she brings up Chris and Queen and just, you know, it's out now, but she bring up Chris and Queen and she's like, you know, basically saying, it ain't no secret, but basically saying Queen was, you know, being stupid or whatever because of the fact the boy said he ain't want her and she, whatever. So Deja's just talking to me. So we get back to the house or whatever. We do our little videos. Everybody, you know, Deja and Ty go back home. I go back home. Jazz stays back. And I go back to my hotel, my fault. Jazz stays back. And when she stays back, she tells Chris that Deja was talking about them in the car. So Chris called me because I'm pretty sure Jazz said, wasn't she? You know, like, you gotta ask Janay. She was in court, you know. So Chris asked me, and when Chris asked me, I'm looking crazy. And I'm like, Chris, no, because that's going to cause a problem. And Chris was like, no, you know, Janay, I need to know. Because he's like, you know, she's staying in my house, you know, or whatever. I got these, you know, like, I look at them like little sisters. Because everybody in that second house Chris brought to me, Armon and Trey, Jazz followed us, Armon and Trey, and the Taylor girls. He brought those, you know, to me or whatever. So he like, no, they can't be sitting up under me talking about me, you know, in my house type stuff. And I'm like, you know, so I was like, well, yeah, but she wasn't saying, you know, saying it like that. And next thing I know, I said, Chris, don't say nothing. He was like, I'm not, Chris. And then Chris calls Deja popping off. And what Deja do? Pop off. And Deja's like, y'all need to watch Janay. She was like, you know, because she gonna get y'all, da-da-da. Because Deja remembered talking to me. So in her mind, I'm the one that went and said something to Chris when I didn't. It was her that said something. And somebody just said, there's no proof. Are you talking about proof as far as what happened? It is proof. All you gotta do is go to Martin Lewis channel, because I just found the evidence 2 years ago when I was watching one of his videos. I said, because she goes on live and says it. And she's with Armon and Trey. And she's like, because they was beefing with the Taylor girls. Remember the diss track? And she's on on live with them, and she's like, what did that girl say? She said, yeah, I told my bro. You know, I told him, yeah, you know, y'all was talking about him. Y'all messy. And I'm like, well, I be god doggone. But by that time, the relationships was done. Like, that baby was mad. Nobody, if you look at Deja's videos and stuff, when she was talking about me or whatever, when you look at her videos, you can see that she was hurt because she thought we was closer than that. Deja, we was. I didn't say anything. And now that I got a video to prove it, Jazz is the one that said something. That's how that whole situation went. And so I gotta go, y'all, because my baby about to get off the bus. But Jazz was the one that said something. And when she said something, that just dismantled, like, the friendships, you know, or whatever, with Armon and Trey. Because one thing about Armon, I'm gonna have to say, he rides for people he loves. Even if you don't agree with him, he rides with people that he loves. And he loves Chris. Well, you know, during that time he loved Chris, so it was like nothing Deja and them could say. And then when they made the diss track and put everybody in it, that was it. So that was the one thing with Jazz. I just realized at that point, like, oh, dang. And then what did it for me was the brilliant play that she made. Armon and Trey hadn't got paid yet, but they wanted to get their own place. Jazz had her money because I helped her get out her contract with the studio she was connected to, and I helped her get out her lease in Arkansas. And she had the money to get the house initially. And Armon and Trey knew they had a check coming. So they was like, you know, you go ahead and put the money down or whatever. I think they gave her something. I don't know how much it was, but they didn't have all of it. But they was about to get it. And so she put the money up and she was like, yeah, you know, I'll get the place, da-da-da. And I remember talking to Trey, because me and Trey went to the beauty supply store. And I remember telling him, like, you don't think it's strange that she pushing up, you know, so much that all of a sudden she's willing. And when I tell you that was the most brilliant play ever to separate everybody and to get Armon and Trey over at the house together, that was the most brilliant play she made. And that's who she ran it up with. And I was so aggravated because it was so subtle that I'm like, don't nobody see this? But, and then next thing you know, fast forward 3 years later, what is it? FYU house or something? So yeah, but this was fun, y'all. I gotta go do the domesticated stuff and feed these chitlins.